Cool. Appreciate that, Mason. Yeah, like he said, we definitely appreciate everybody hopping on. Obviously it's Trade Talk Tuesday, and what better way to have one of the professionals that we're able to learn from on a daily basis hop on and share, how he was able to get to where he's gotten in a relatively short period of time. Rich is somebody that I follow very closely within Akashics that we are all a part of. Dude's only 29 years old. He's been in the trading space for about 6 years. If anybody follows him, you know that he created his own strategy called the Liberty Strategy. He also has his own Telegram. I'll peep that right now. Join it. He's posting fire in there all the time. And yeah, I mean, he's somebody that, I mean, he'll share a little bit of his story as well, but he started right where we all are as well. Nobody in this space comes in here as a professional. Everybody starts at square one, but definitely ready to hear from him how he was able to go from step one to where he is now, and share a little bit of his story with you, whatever he really wants to go through. So definitely, if I were you guys and you're not driving or something like that, definitely grab a pen and paper. If you have any questions, save them for the end or type them in the chat. We don't want anybody to unmute during this time, just so we can get the most value from him as possible during this time. So if you have questions, like I said, write them in the chat or save them for the end. But with that, Rich, we're definitely super grateful for you hopping on this right now, bro. And pouring into the squad. This is a group of hungry individuals who are ready to become experts in the markets. And yeah, we're just super grateful for you for hopping on and sharing some of your time with us. So I'll pass it over to you.
Let's go, man. If you guys are excited, let's get some energy in the chats. First and foremost, I want to, just give credit to Kelsey and Mason for putting this call together and just always putting the team first. I mean, as you guys already know, I don't got to tell y'all, you guys have amazing leadership, and that's really where everything rises and falls on, man. Is like how many people actually care about you getting to the goals that you want to get to. You know what I mean? I think I should be able to share my screen. Cool. Yeah, I'm cool with Spotlight, but when it's like that big in my face, I'm just like, it's too much of me on the screen right now. But yeah, man, I always gotta give credit to the leaders because at the end of the day, like myself as an educator in the platform, we're really nothing without the field. Like everything is one unit. It's the field, the leaders, the educators, and corporate. And not one is more important than the other, right? We cannot do what we do if we do not all work together. And so again, I want to give credit to Kelsey for taking initiative to set up this call, because a lot of times leaders, like they feel like maybe they can't approach the educators or they don't know what to do, but nah, like y'all already know, like, hey, we want to win. We want to get hands-on help. Here we go. We got this call set up. So here we are. All right. And I don't want to waste too much time with introductions about who I am and stuff, because I just want to give you the value that you're looking for, right? At the end of the day, you guys have families, you guys have goals, you have work, you got so much stuff, and every minute counts. So I want to make every minute count for you guys to just give you that one tip or whatever it is that's just going to shift your trading, right? Because we're going to be very trading focused on this call. Just to start 2025 on the right foot and make that the year that you just have, the quantum leap that you're looking for, right? But, like Kelsey said, I've been in the trading space since 2018, late 2018 in September. Now, I don't know, like, let me get a quick temperature check here for those who can interact with me, like how long you guys have been in trading at all, like whether it was through Akashics, a prior platform, whatever. Like, has it been a week, a month, couple years? Yeah, you see, so Kelsey's vetted 4 years, 1 year, a year and a half, 3 to 4 years. Yeah. Since 2013? Wow. Yeah, you got more than me then. Less than a month, barely a month. Okay, so for the most part, you guys are like half and half. Like it's super new people and then vets. I consider somebody a vet if you've been doing this for like at least 3 years. I feel like once you're past 2, 3 years, like you've kind of seen some stuff. All right, cool. So I was part of a platform that maybe some of you guys who are the vets here were in as well, called IML or iMarkets Live or IM Mastery Academy, whatever. So I love my journey because I know exactly what it's like to be in a Koshix as a student, because at the end of the day, like, we're different, but it's the same in the sense where it's MLM plus trading, and really the separator is tap to trade compared to what we had back then. But really, it's just the people. Like, the people at the end of the day is what makes and breaks a company. And, just calling it what it is, we get results here, like real results. And I wasn't getting results with my teams. I wasn't seeing anybody making money at all in the trading side of things when we were in prior ventures. So that really taught me a lot about what it was like to learn the basics, what it was like to go to events, what it was like to get into personal development, and also learning on my own. Because I'll be real with you, my uplines, like, none of them really traded. All of them, like, told you that they trade, but really they were just taking signals from educators and like skimming by and just building off hype. Just call it what it is. Like, I'm here to always just keep it raw and honest with you guys, because if we sugarcoat stuff, you're not gonna get to the real stuff that you need to win, right? So this is the reality that I grew up in, was 2018 to 2020, binary options, getting on live sessions, just kind of winging it, just trying to make something just to show off to a prospect to just get them to join the business. Like, I literally went through that whole phase. But then COVID hit in 2020. Uh, Funny enough, it was like the month of COVID when I found out about smart money. So I found out about smart money like in March of 2020, and that's when I started studying it. And then pandemic happened, so it was like the perfect time for me to just lock in and study a lot, because I still worked in banking at that time. So during that period, for like 6 months, I was 1 week working at the bank, and then 1 week was like off. Like, you had like paid time off for a week, and we were just like 1 week work, 1 week off. And we did that for like 6 months. So that got me a lot of time to be like 50-50 of what it was like to like live the trader life at home and then also still working a job. And so I learned a lot in that time that gave me the foundation of my understanding of trading now, which is things like, imbalance, liquidity, market manipulation, like just all those things that I talk about with smart money. And gave me, again, like, that foundation of what I do to this day. So fast forward through there, man, like, once 2020 rolled around is when I started actually clicking a little bit with trading. And then we got into Akasha in 2022, end of 2022. And so I've been an educator since we really, really launched Akasha from day one. So I've been here from when there was no tap to trade. I was here when me, Brent, and Maddie Pips were the only educators at all. Like, I've literally been an OG like in this platform, and since before IMO was even big like that. So like, I've seen it all. All right. Now, I created a strategy called Liberty because when I was teaching my first year in Akasha, I realized that smart money is like, it's not complicated that much once you get used to it. But for somebody that's new, or for somebody in their first like 6 months to a year of learning it, it's like a lot. And you can get a little lost. And so I was like, man, like, let me be smart here and let me find a way to just like take what I know and try to just simplify it, which is something called like the 80-20 principle. If you guys have ever seen that book or heard of that, you guys should look into what the 80-20 principle is, because it'll shift your mindset about what you spend your time on and what really matters. Like, so much of our time and energy and focus goes into like everything, when really only 20% of the stuff gives us 80% of the results. That's in trading, and that's in building your business. That's in everything. Like, even if you work a job, like, most of the time you have like downtime, or even if you don't really have downtime, the productivity comes in spurts. And then the rest of the time is just like in between time. So 80-20 is just a real thing that happens. Okay. And yeah, man, that's what kind of led me to, utilizing something called the Asian range, and just really kind of simplifying my smart money stuff into what we have today. And it's been going really well. I mean, it's only really been out for a year. Like, I introduced it at our first Tap In Experience event in Vegas in March of 2024. Yeah. So yeah, February, March. So like, it's really been out almost a year. And so really, like, that's what's the craziest part, is we've gotten so many testimonials, so many people funded, so many people literally just use my stuff to get their results in Akashex, and that's it. So it's very powerful. That's why I want to make sure I teach it, show you where to find it, incorporate it into your stuff. But I'll be honest with you guys, like, the first thing, especially for the people that are in your first couple of months, is it doesn't matter how much you study a strategy. It doesn't really matter how much you study like trading concepts. The real magic of why some people like get really good results in trading and in life versus other people is just because who they are. Now, I don't want you to misinterpret that as in like that paradigm that some people have that are like, oh, that person's just meant to win and I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the success always starts internally, like how you carry yourself, how you see yourself in the mirror, like who you are, how you behave is really the secret. There's no other outs, like there's no external forces or information because I'm just an external voice and information going to you right now, but the success is really within. And I'm like such an anti-corny mindset guy. Like I don't like to hype or motivate people. I just like to really get you to think deep. And again, everybody that has success, man, like they've built a new version of themselves. If you're gonna take away anything from what I'm gonna talk about, because I'm gonna give you the tools to go to war, right? That's what I'm giving you. Like liberty is just a way to go to war in the markets. Like I'm giving you the gun, right? But a warrior, it doesn't matter if you take their gun away, like they're gonna bare hands kill you. Like they're gonna do whatever it takes to come out on top of the war, right? That's why I say, like, you have to become the warrior. This strategy or any other strategy you learn is just a tool, but you're the one that makes it happen. So that's why I'm trying to tell you, whether it's going to church, whether it's surrounding yourself with top level like people that are just super disciplined and have that spirit of winning, like when you get around winners, it's gonna rub off, man. Like you guys have heard this, but I'm telling you from a trading training right now that comes before any strategies or any trading stuff. You're not gonna be who you are coming into this industry when you're done with it. You have to metamorph into like something else. All right. And the people that knew me before can attest to the growth. Obviously, some people see me where I'm at right now, but I couldn't ever do a Zoom training. I didn't know how to read a chart. Like everybody starts at zero, completely lost, completely not confident. So the difference is I've been literally looking at the freaking charts every day for 6 years. It kind of gets repetitive after a while and you start to get confident, right? Whether you play basketball, whether you play video games, whether whatever, you're going to get really good if you just keep going. So especially for my couple months in the game people, man, like if you haven't even put in 3 or 4 years like Kelsey, like there's nothing to talk about as far as I'm frustrated or I don't know if this is for me. That like I'm sorry, like it's just you gotta have realistic understanding that this is a profession, right? Like trading is gonna get you to the top 1% of the 1% of the world when you understand it and you start getting consistent with it. But that means you have to be like different from the 99% of people. Like you literally have to be like thinking on a different level. All right. So yes, trading is really hard. Anybody who tries to pitch you that trading's easy, like it's not. What makes it simple and fun and sexy or whatever to sell it is the fact that you can leverage things like trade alerts, tap to trade, etc., live sessions. But if you just raw dogged it like by yourself, no mentorship, no YouTube videos, just look at a chart and figure it out on your own, you'd be there for 30 years trying to start understanding things. So don't take lightly the fact that you have a whole back office of videos. Don't take lightly that there's live sessions. Like you literally have a fortune in front of you for $150 a month. You know, it's just your perspective, and you have to understand that to be grateful for it, to take it serious. Because if you don't know what you got, you're not gonna take it serious. So just know that you have literally the keys in front of you to just do absolutely incredible things. And you're seeing it with the TradeX payouts from students that are like in their first year of trading making 5-figure payouts. That's unheard of. That's not supposed to happen. So you guys have it. Now we're going to talk about what's the real game plan. Like, how do we do it now? So that's why I'm here. Okay. And then I don't want to take up that much time teaching because I want to make sure I get you guys some Q&A, because Q&A is really the most important thing of what's going to happen here, because you all are like needing just minor tweaks or certain things that you need to click for you to like move into your next phase. So just really think about your question that you want to ask, because I think that's going to be the most important thing. All right. So really quickly on the Akashic's back office, whether you know this or not, I'll just show you. You guys have access to this thing called the Educator Training Series under the Academy section. So under Academy, you click Educator Training Series, and then you'll see my profile here. And it teaches a little bit of everything, but the actual charts and all that is going to be basics, smart money, and liberty. Okay. Basics is very basic, like what's a candlestick, what's market structure, what's a trend. But it's like when you're learning any sport, people like to overlook the fundamentals, is what they're called, right? Like the bare essentials of what you do. People always want to get flashy and do the cool stuff. But if you can't understand the basics, like the back of your palm, you're just trying to skip levels, and it doesn't work that way. You gotta fully, like, here's how you know how you understand something versus knowing something. This is the biggest thing right here. I want you to like really take away from this. If you think you know how candles work, or you think you know how a trend works, like easy, like, right? Like, yo, bro, like that's easy, bro. Okay, here's a test. I want you to either record yourself talking to nobody or teach one person that's brand new what it is without looking at any YouTube videos, without looking at anything. Like, you have to fully explain exactly what a candlestick is: open, high, low, close, what a wick, what a body is. Like, if you can't explain what a candle is, you need to start there. And if you can't teach it in full depth, you still don't really understand it. And until you really understand a candle, you can't really understand a trend. And if you don't really understand a trend, you're not going to learn the smart money stuff. So just have to humble yourself and start from square one. Every time you feel lost, every time you feel confused about trading or anything, you need to zoom out, go back to the basics. At some point, the basics are literally second nature to you. Fine, move on to other concepts. But that's just how learning is. A lot of times we think we know something because we haven't been tested. There's a reason why schools, which I'm not all for the school system exactly, but the school system has one thing correct. If you want to understand material, you have to be tested on the material. And for me, like, there's no test you're going to freaking take for trading. For me, the test is, can you explain it to somebody in full detail and confidence, and then also execute it on the chart, you know? So just keep that in mind, you know, that you got to build your building blocks of basics first. All right, cool. So even if you don't understand basics, even if you don't know absolutely anything, people are still kind of able to wing it with my strategy because I made it that simple. But I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh yeah, like my strategy is just you do this, that, and that's it. You're successful. Nah, the people that really make money with Liberty, like, they understand market structure, they understand trends, like they can piece together the other elements. That's what makes it powerful. So again, there's people that don't know crap that are literally catching Liberty setups by accident and making money. But the real duplication and like using that long term for like continued success is not going to happen unless you study a little bit. It is what it is. So you guys can learn all that stuff here. I am going to update this video because I don't talk about my reversal models. I only talk about the breakout model, but I'll talk about it here really fast. And I touch on it every single live session that I do. So but I want to have it here just so it's done. Also, I'll make sure I send it to Kelsey. Unless, I don't know, Kelsey, do you have the PDF? You know that PDF I made that shows the strategy or not?
Yeah, I think I have it. Yep.
It's the one that says remastered though, because I had like 3 different versions. But the last one I just came out with maybe like a couple weeks ago, and it has like the
I don't know
cheat
if I
sheet.
have the updated one yet then.
I'm gonna send it to you right now. I'll send it to you by the end of the call so you can pass it out. But the PDF is going to show you literally my strategy in the form of pictures. Like, so there's literally like, you're going to see it live and you have pictures. And it's cool because for beginners, it shows you the exact lot sizes to use based off your trading account size with the TradeX. So that way you like never get confused with like, oh, Rich came out with an alert. What lot size do I use? I always use the exact same stop loss size on every single NAS trade. So like calculating the lot size is not something you have to do based on every setup because it's a different size stop loss. Not like that. Another resource that we just came out with, and I know you guys have your systems, so do what works. But if you ever like get lost, especially for a new person, myself, Brent, and Armin, this is official Akashak certified. This is not like a team branded thing. This is for the entire company. This is like corporate. We created the akashicslaunch.com website, and this literally like shows you how to, navigate the back office, how to take trade alerts, risk management. Like this is a whole onboarding tool that you guys can have aside from what you already have going on that shows trade locker, like literally everything that a beginner needs from day one. You guys can find it here in case you want to leverage that. So I just wanted to show you too. Um, yeah, as far as like the other stuff for me is the live sessions that I do Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, which is 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. So for you guys, I'm not sure like where y'all are located, but like Mountain Time or West Coast Time, I'm pretty sure you're either Mountain or Central. Then you can just Minnesota. I think you guys are Central or Mountain. I'm not sure. Like right now for me, it's 7:27 here in Texas. All right, yeah. So 7:30. So yeah, basically 9 a.m. Central, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays is when I do my session. All right, so that's how you find me. That's how you see my content. We'll get the PDF and then the live sessions. So how does the strategy work? Okay, first and foremost, I used to trade other things. Like funny enough, I called a Forex trade yesterday. I talked about it on the session today for AUD USD. Now, I can still trade Forex pairs because I understand like smart money concepts and I apply it to any market. It could be crypto, stocks, Forex, anything. Like literally, smart money works with everything because it's not like a pattern or it's not like some gimmicky thing. It's like, and this is what I believe because I've seen the evidence, but to each his own. Like there's like anti-smart money people. It's so funny. But like I just see how intentional those concepts are. And that's why I believe in it. And it's so accurate. So when I look at things like manipulation, liquidity, imbalance, like it's so accurate that I just know it's real. And so I can apply that to literally any chart at all times. And so that's why I say like Liberty is just something I use for NAS, but smart money is something you can use for everything. And that AUD USD trade ran for over a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And that's a big part of the type of trading that I like to do is you want to try to make double to quadruple whatever you risk on a trade whenever you do win. And not every setup is going to run enough for you to do that. You're going to have in a series of 10 trades, guys. And here's where we'll get into like some real trading stuff that you may or may not know. And here's the thing. There was a point where even especially when I was like years already into it, where I'm like, damn, bro, I'm still not there. Like, what am I missing? Like, I already know all the simple things. I already know there's nothing new you could teach me. And that happens in network marketing too. Like, you already learn all the network marketing skills, but you're not there yet with your rank. And it's like, I already heard about the invite. I already heard about notification. I already heard about this. It's the same thing with trading. Like, you're going to hear some stuff that you're like, man, I thought I was going to hear something completely different and blah, blah, blah. Well, you might hear something different on this call, but there's also going to be some reoccurring things. And it just goes back to what I told you before, which was you think you know, but you don't fully understand it yet. And the only way to really know is to just keep practicing at it because you'll have these self-realizations later. Like, man, I thought I was ready, but now that a year has passed, I'm so different. I can see why I wasn't ready yet. I don't know if you ever have those reflections in your life, like every year, but I looked like at the end of this year, this is the best year of my life financially, like professional wise, like everything was just up, and I'm blessed to say that. But 2 years ago, my entire, IML team crashed. My trading was whatever. Like I moved from Miami to Texas. I lost my high-rise condo in Miami. Like I've been through repos. Like I literally I burned my credit. Like I've been through everything. I worked at Walgreens for $8 an hour till 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning at nights. Like I dropped out of college and disappointed my whole family for a stretch of my life too. So like the point is in those moments though, I still thought I was the shit. Like I was like, oh, I'm good. Like I know what I'm doing. And every year that passes, I'm like, bro, you didn't know nothing last year, bro. So like, don't be so hard on yourself. You just need to learn every day something, and then you know over time, dude. Like, don't be, oh, this guy's 19 and he's a millionaire. This guy's this that. Like, dude, if there's one thing I'm gonna tell you, whether it's me, whoever that you look up to, whether they're in the business or outside of the business in any field, anybody you look up to, if you get to know them, they'll actually disappoint you. And that sounds crazy, but what I'm trying to say is like people are not as untouchable or crazy or different than you. They just have enough distance that you don't see the reality of their circumstances and how they got to where they get to. Like success is ugly. Like you're gonna make money, lose money, you're gonna get funded, get payouts, and then lose your funded and do it again. Like you're not, it's not a straight line. So just know that like this is a bumpy ass road that never stops being bumpy. It's just you learn how to put your game face on and push through it regardless. It's like people that play through injuries in sports and you didn't even know they were injured until like the post-game interview and you're like, yeah, I was playing on like a torn shoulder, but like nobody knew. That's what entrepreneurship is. Like we're playing injured all the time. You just don't see it, you know? And you're probably living it right now, so just find peace in that. You know what I'm saying? And you're hearing me ramble a lot about mindset stuff, but like that is the 80-20 of the success that I'm trying to tell you. That principle applies. 20% is the chart work stuff. I can literally show you the strategy and hop off the call in the next 5 minutes, but it's not going to do nothing for you until you hear what I'm trying to tell y'all. All right. So let me just get into the strategy real quick. Okay, so NAS 100 is like 98% of the time the only thing I trade. So the AUD trade from yesterday was kind of like an anomaly. But point is, why do I only trade NAS 100? Well, and you can go back into my recordings in Akashics, they're all stored. I would trade like a little bit of everything. I would trade a bunch of forex pairs, gold, and then I started doing indices a little bit. I was kind of like trading a little bit of everything. And then you know, it just came to a point where I'm like, dude, I feel like my focus is everywhere. And like I'm looking at the success in the industry of trading. And I'm not gonna name names because whatever. But like if you know traders in the space, you start to pick up on something where it's like a lot of people end up becoming like known for trading one or two things. Like it always comes down to like, I don't know a lot of really successful traders that trade a whole bunch of different things. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying I've seen more people successful that just niche down to one pair, one session, one strategy, you know? Because if you think about it, the only reason why we trade so many different pairs is because we are used to the mindset that we're instilled as kids or whatever, that like you have to work harder to make more money. And you'll hear this in MLM too. Like they teach this as leaders. It's like, oh, you know, in MLM, it's not about working harder. It's about working smarter. Oh, it's not about you being the number one recruiter. It's about bringing in the best team, blah, 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 right? It's the same thing with trading. Trading 10 plus different pairs. Yeah, there's technically more opportunity, but there's also more loss. And what you have to understand is that if you just trade the right asset, you can squeeze what you need out of a day in a 2-hour time frame with one pair and be done for sometimes even the week. Like to be honest with you, like the last two trades, the AUD trade and the NAS trades today that I'll show you, like I'm up 6% for the week. Like I don't feel like trading the rest of the week, to be honest. I kind of have to because I'm an educator and people need me to freaking call out trades. I'm paid to do that. But just being real, I don't want to trade the rest of the week. And that's the mindset I want y'all to understand, is that you can literally hit a weekly goal in a day or two and you can walk away. Like that's the whole point of trading for me, was to be just one source of income where I can put as little time of my day as possible and get the objective complete and just go and do other things with my life. Like I love to play ball. I like to play Call of Duty. I like to just like chill, travel. Like trading is just a way that I get money. And I find a lot of passion in helping other people win to create that type of chill lifestyle. But like, if you are on the charts all day, taking like 10 to 20 positions a day, and you love that, hey, power to you, bro, you know? But for me, that's slavery. And that's like more stressful than a job, you know? Like I worked in banking for 7, 8 years, and it's very draining. But funny enough, like I think I actually I know trading is way more stressful if you make it more stressful. Especially right now, like if I lose trades, it's not me losing trades, it's thousands of people losing a trade potentially at the same time. So like the amount of pressure that you live with every single day as an educator is immense. If you think that way though. I personally forget that I send trades to thousands of people. And I'm not talking about me for me. I'm talking about me because I want you to start trading like thousands of people depended on that next trade you're about to take. Obviously, if you're taking tap to trades, trade alerts, you're just following the program. It's a different case, guys. Okay. But I'm just saying, if you guys, because here's the thing, if you're talking about Trader Talk Tuesdays, it's because you probably want to get really good at trading. So for those that just want to leverage professionals, I mean, it's really nothing else. So let me just start there real quick. It's nothing else than just putting the right risk and taking enough of the trades to let it work. Like if you just take my trades and Brent's trades, for example, you should be just sticking to definitely under 1% risk if you're on a funded account because you only need 10% to pass phase one. So if you're mixing multiple educators and you're risking like 1% or more on a trade, like you can easily, and I'm sure it's happened to you, lose 2 or 3 in a row, and now you're down 3% on your funded, and your psychology goes crazy. You're like, oh God, bro, I'm in drawdown. I'm almost halfway losing my challenge. Like, what am I gonna do? And all these emotions start kind of overriding your logic, you know? You got to be very mindful of your feelings and like where your state of mind is when you start taking the next trade. All right. Because that's the thing that's going to sabotage you the most. It's not really the next trade, it's like your state of mind of how you manage the next trade. So, simple tip for all my new people that are 3 months in and you're just going to, leverage the educators like myself. If you just take my trades, I would say to use 1%, maybe even more, because I don't send a lot of trades. Like I'm sending maybe 3 to 4 a week. On a high side, I'd probably do like 5. But like Thanksgiving week, I sent 2 trades out. But it was Thanksgiving week. There was like a holiday on Thursday. Markets were slow leading up to it. And I lost both trades. I was 0-2 on trade alerts for the whole week. Friday, I technically took a trade that ended up making me break even for the week, but I couldn't send that out in time or whatever. So if you don't put a lot of risk on the setups that I put, then and you only wait for me, then yeah, it's gonna go slower, obviously. What would be an example of a good percentage? Again, it really depends how many trades you're taking from how many people. Again, like I'm cool with doing 1 to 2% on my own trades because I just know I don't send a lot. So, for example, I risked 1% on the trades that I took, my AUD one, and then the NAS ones that I took today. And I made 6% because the trades ran for a 6R multiple, meaning like I risked 50 pips and I caught 150 twice. I caught 150 with AUD, and then I caught 150 between 2 different entries on NAS today that I'll show you here. So risking 1% is how I made 6% this week, which is more than halfway to passing a phase one. So you could do 1%. But again, if you're taking trades of mine, plus Brent, plus Joel, plus this guy, and you're risking 1%, if it's like a really good day like today, you're gonna pass your account like this. But then you're gonna lose it really fast too. Like whenever there's a losing streak, you're gonna be like, whoa. It's all math, guys. And there's no amount of training I can cover in like 45 minutes to like teach you everything. So that's why you like this is just an introductory call or like just kind of like a get your shit together call, like being honest with you to like lock in on the material that's already there. For me, even when I was a student in like prior platforms, I only followed 1 to 2 people max all the time. Because the thing is, there's different methodologies and ideologies of how you do what you do. And there's not one road to success. I'll be honest with you, like, everybody rocks with Joel. Like Joel's very popular, right? If you trade my risk plan with Joel's trades, you'll burn your accounts. And if you trade Joel's risk plan with my trades, you'll never move your account forward. Like you can't be mixing and matching like that. Now, it doesn't mean you can't take my trades plus Brand's plus Joel's plus this person. It just means that the way that they do their risk plan is how you have to do your risk plan with their specific trades. And then you have to shift gears to how I'm telling you to do my trades. And for a lot of people, that's way too much. It's way too much. So even when I was following educators, the two of them that I followed traded the same way. They traded smart money and they traded like risk to reward friendly. So even though it was two different people, the concepts were the same. The setups played out for the same reasons, and the risk to reward elements were all there. Okay. So just keep that in mind. So again, for me, the way I do my trades, and the way I have my stuff preset here is I'll have a 50-point stop loss, which is 500 pips. When I say 50 points on NAS, is because if you look to the right, NAS, like let's say it's the price is 21,000, right? 21,000. If it goes to 21,050, that's 50 points, right? But that's 500 pips that the market moves. So every point is 10 pips on NAS. So again, whatever pair, instrument, asset that you trade, you need to understand how that pair moves in terms of volatility, like how to calculate your lot size. Because if somebody like, okay, people just started trading Bitcoin a lot, right? Because it got hot right now. If you've never traded Bitcoin and you keep using the same lot sizes you were using on Forex pairs, you're in for a very rude awakening because you made an assumption that it was all the same stuff. Anytime you do something new when it comes to trading, I highly recommend that you either do it on a demo account first or you use the smallest lot size possible until you figure out what the hell you're doing. Because every time you jump a new strategy or every time you trade a new pair that you've never traded before, you're tweaking the formula and you've never experienced what it's like to actually do that trade. And so you're going to either find out something really bad or you're going to be like, oh, trading oil, right? Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So some of y'all already know what I'm talking about, but just never alter the experiment without testing it first, right? Like trading, you'll hear me talk about like constants and variables, right? Like a science project, you have your constants and variables. Constants are things that stay the same, variables are things that change, right? Okay, well, what makes a trading strategy easy is how many constants we have in the strategy that happen every day. Because the thing with trading that makes it so foggy and so hard to understand is that a lot of people use things like support, resistance, trend lines, things like that. And sometimes what you consider to be a good trend line, I may not say that's a good trend line. Or what I think is a support zone, you don't really see that as like a good support zone. It's a lot of iffy scenarios that are not concrete. And so if you don't have concrete, like clear, undisputed facts, it's always an opinion that you're trading. And some people just naturally are gifted with having luck for like gambling and stuff like that. And they'll just do so well compared to somebody else that just cannot win a lotto ticket, can never get a scratch off card, can never go to the casino and win. Like there's people like that. That's a real thing. That's why I don't try to trade my opinions. People ask me, oh, what do you think NAS is going to do? I'm like, bro, I don't know. I don't know what the hell the market is ever doing. I just have a method and I follow the rules of that method. Because every time I try to think what the market is going to do, I'm always wrong. Always. And I'm telling you with 6 years experience, if I try to tell you what the market might do, I'm going to get it wrong. I just follow my strategy. Because the strategy has constants. What are the constants, Rich? The Asian range is like the most important part of what I do because it's my entry criteria. When you get into trades, you need an entry, a stop loss, and where you plan to take profits. 3 things. Again, simple, easy, right? But like, do you really know why you're entering where you're entering? Do you really know why you have the stop loss where you have it? Do you really know why you're targeting where you're going to target it? Like that has to be very meticulously known down to the T as a science. If not, you're going to have very rocky results. Super rocky. So every single day, the Asian range is created because all I do is trade time and price. I don't believe in indicators. Some people use it, they find a way to make it work for them. Cool. I don't judge. I'm just telling you what I do. The market has two axes, an X and Y axis. You have price and you have time. What you need to do is pay attention to the past to give you clues about the future. Every single day for NASDAQ, because what is the NASDAQ? It's tech stocks, right? So we're trading the stock market. This is Amazon, Nvidia, Apple, boom, 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 right? If you turn on sessions, you look up sessions indicator. So I know you're gonna be like, oh, but that's you said you didn't use indicators. Well, this isn't like an indicator like RSI or MACD or something that tells me to get into a trade. I don't use indicators that tell me to get in. I just use indicators that highlight time and price for me. They just make it a visual aid for me. Okay. So notice the blue boxes, right? That's 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern. 8 a.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Eastern. Notice how from 8 a.m. to 6, right, you get a big move on NAS. Big move on NAS. Big move on NAS. Big move on NAS. What happens when you go to the red zone? Very small. Very small. Very small. These are constants. You see? This is why the strategy is very simple for people to follow, because I finally gave y'all structure. With trading, if I don't give you structure or somebody doesn't have structure, they're just looking at an ocean. Like I'll turn off all drawing material and they're just looking at a bunch of lines going up and down. If you try to read this chart right now, you're lost. You can fix a lot of your understanding of a chart by simply going up a time frame, zooming out, and looking for constants. And again, I'm telling y'all what they are. If you're gonna trade NAS and you try to trade it before 8 a.m. or after 6 p.m., you're working smarter you're working harder and not smarter, and you're just wasting your time. The equivalent of trading after 6 p.m. and before 8 a.m., and this isn't always true. There's some times that you can make money before and after those times, but 80-20 principle, all right? 80-20 principle again. The red boxes don't move for shit. The blue ones do a lot. So why the hell are you going to try to trade from 7 p.m. to midnight where the market's not going to move? Bro, you're going to be busting your head for no reason. And then you're going to blame the market for being slow. It's like you're not paying attention. The market tells you every day when it's ready to move, but you got to get in sync with it. And you can do that on any Forex pair. You can do that on any asset you trade. The thing is, when you talk about Forex pairs, you're talking about two major currencies from developed countries that have been around for hundreds, sometimes thousands of years, right? Well, let's say hundreds of years, right? So a very established asset that you're trading versus another very established asset tends to range more, tends to go slower, and it can move around the clock more often. I personally like that NAS only moves during that time because it lets me create a focus time and a walk away time. The only downside to trading NAS is that if you work a job and you can't trade from like 8 to 5, you have to systematize this thing with pending orders and ways to like get on your phone whenever you can around work. And I worked in a bank where you're not allowed to have your phone out because of client sensitive information. You know, I had to work with money in the vaults. Like you can't be on your phone like that in a bank. It's like a big no-no, right? So I had to hide in the bathroom. I had to go into an electric room where there wasn't no cameras, like set pending orders. I get it, yo, but you will find a way to make it work if you just play with your play with your situation, and eventually you're gonna figure out like how to make that work. But again, like don't try to trade this outside of that window because it's not gonna work. All right. So for example, tomorrow, or let's talk about today, right? Today, 8 in the morning was here all the way to 6 p.m. And to be honest, the thing with today is that today was actually like technically like for my strategy, the way that the day started is the worst type of day that can happen, in the sense that price started moving out of the Asian range during London session. So again, like the blue line is where we want to start looking for trades, right? Well, here's the problem. We started seeing the breakout of the Asian high right here happen at like 5 in the morning, right? In our time zone, 4 in the morning. So this is not good because, I mean, it's not that it's not good. It's just like then price runs away from us by the time that New York session kind of kicks in and you kind of miss a trade. So that's how my day started. If you were on the session today, um, like I could have maybe gone for something here, but I don't like that. I like to see if I'm going to go for my breakout model for price to break above the Asia high to get into buys and then ride that up, right? But I want that to start happening in that window of 8 in the morning. Okay. So personally, like the first NAS trade that I took was based off of supply and demand. That's like another concept. I got in at 21,560 right here, but that's not my signature thing. So I don't want to really talk about that setup. Also, Luis Rodriguez called out 565, which was like in alignment with what I saw. So that's why I took it. But later in the day, my strategy did end up playing out like right here. Okay. So I'll talk about this. The cleaner version of my strategy playing out was on Monday. So again, if we pull up, and then I'll make this very short because I want you guys to be able to ask some questions. 8 a.m. was right here. And 6 p.m. was right here. Okay. So let's drop time frames here. All right. And let me use bar replay tool here. Okay. So again, my strategy, you can either do a reversal or a breakout. A reversal is basically like, let's say I want to trade the reversal of the Asia high. It would basically be where price like breaks above it, but I'm expecting it to actually drop. So once it breaks back below the Asia high, I will sell that and then catch the drop. All right. That's the reversal model. The breakout model is very simple. You have the Asia low and price is there, and then it breaks through it, and you jump in for a sell, and you just keep it going. That's the breakout, and then there's the fake out. Okay, so there's different scenarios where I teach. Again, I can't cover it all in one call, right? But Monday was a really clean example of the original breakout model that I taught before the reversal model, where, okay, you have the high, right, and you have the low. The high broke, but guess what? It broke before 8 in the morning. So this, I'm not even awake. I'm sleeping. So I don't even know this is happening. All right. If you happen to be up and you're not sleeping or you're in a different time zone and you take that, it is what it is. I can't vouch for that because I don't back test and I don't advise you to trade that during London session. But the Asia low broke during New York session. And that's as simple as the strategy is. Like if you're going to do the breakout, hey, if it breaks the Asia low after 8 a.m., you go for the sell. That is like the easiest ABC 1, 2, 3 way of explaining it and why a lot of people find this simple. The magic and the consistency comes from understanding when to trust the breakout versus a fake out and vice versa. That's going to come with studying and getting on my sessions and, tapping into that. But essentially, very simple. You wait for NAS to break the bottom of that red line. You go for a sell. You use a 500 pip stop loss, and we target at least 2 to 4 times that amount, right? And so I know Brent ended up calling out this trade, by the way. That's why I didn't call it, if you're wondering. Brent called out this on trade alerts. So like I wasn't going to double dip the same exact entry as him. He called it out. He can get the credit, whatever. As long as you guys take it, boom. 4 to 1 risk to reward. This is literally like risking 1%, 4% gain. This is like almost passing a phase 2 in one trade, risking 1%. So the risk to reward is why I'm so comfortable with risking 1% because I know that the winners are going to outweigh the losers. And like you're going to catch thousands of pips in 2 hours. This happened from 9:30 to like 11:30. So 2 hours, 2,000 pips, 4 to 1 risk to reward ratio, done for the day. Like literally don't take no more trades. And you can literally just learn the strategy. You don't even need me to call it out. But again, you're going to want to practice and get used to it. So like tomorrow, and I'll end it right here before the questions, is we're seeing the red zone form right now, right? It's going to finish forming at like 1 a.m. Eastern. Now, when 8 a.m. rolls around tomorrow, and tomorrow's a little bit different because we have news. So that's another thing you got to pay attention to, right? We have CPI at 7:30 a.m. Central. So that's like 30 minutes after 8 a.m., right? That's 8:30 a.m. Eastern, right? So basically, after 8 a.m., once we pass this blue line, you're gonna see this thing go crazy during news, during New York session, everything. So let's say hypothetically that price stays in this red zone right here, right? Like this is just, it doesn't push higher or lower than this, right? What I would be doing is, because price already came so low, I'd be looking for price to break above this and take us up to here. That's where you learn supply and demand zones, whatever. But forget that that gray box up there is even there. Just simply understanding the breakout of like the red box. If it breaks above, you buy. If it breaks below, you sell. That's the original easy model. So again, guys, you're gonna have to go through my content, get on the sessions. You guys can message me on Instagram, whatever, Telegram. I'll try to get to everybody as much as possible. I get a lot of messages, but just go through it. And if you, the best thing is you need to go on TradingView, put up these indicators. I recommend paying for the simple basic version of TradingView that's like 10, 15 bucks a month so that you can get the replay tool, like this thing that I use, and go back in time and look up 8 a.m. to 6 and look at it doing it over and over. And treat it like if you were gonna take this, like you were gonna take the trade. That's called back testing, guys. That's what I did to like do the strategy. If you don't want to put in that work of looking at the range, looking at what it reacts to, and then seeing what would have happened, that's what's gonna give you confidence in the future to trust the strategy. Because you're gonna see it happen over and over in the past. All right. So again, it's a lot, especially for my newer people. Like, I get it. Take my trade alerts, stick to tap to trade and stuff, but just try to learn 10 minutes a day, 5, 10 minutes a day, and let those lessons stack up. But yeah, man, time flies. It's already freaking 8 o'clock. So I don't know if you guys want any, if you guys got any questions, or Kelsey, if you wanna, take it in a different direction or whatnot. Try to squeeze as much as I can here.
No, definitely. That was solid. I don't know. We were talking in the group chats and everything, and people were fired up, but definitely, definitely appreciate that one. If y'all got some value from that, like drop some sevens in the chat, because it's not every day that we get one of our professional educators that we get to learn from to hop on an exclusive team call like this, to pour value into us. So it's definitely appreciated. But yeah, we'll do like 5, 10 minutes of questions if anybody has some.
Yeah, yeah.
I know there's a decent amount of people in here, so like raise your hand if you have a question or throw it in the chat. But yeah, we'll take the next 5, 10 minutes or so and
Yeah.
answer some questions before we close this thing out. So does anybody have anything off the bat?
Yeah, take advantage.
Jules, go ahead, bro, if you can unmute yourself.
I'm actually currently sitting in the living room right now. But my question to you was, how do you regulate your life schedule and just what's your wake up to kind of go to bed time just on a day-to-day trading basis?
Okay. So, man, I'm gonna give you like my 9 to 5 version of me when I worked, and then like where I'm at now. Okay, because I want to relate to everybody here.
No,
Okay.
no, that would be great actually.
Yeah, exactly. Because like it's easy for me to say what I do now, and this is all I do, but I want to make it like, yo, trading on hard mode is when you have a freaking job and you're building your team and trading. That's just hard. Like if you guys can do that, yo, you're so mentally prepped for success, bro. Like never be the person that's working and doing everything at one time. Be like, oh, if I had all the time, I'd be successful too. Yo, that's the wrong mindset, bro. Learn how to play on the hardest difficulty in this game so that when you can actually free up your time, it's like, wow, like it's so much easier, like embrace that challenge, right? But when I worked in the bank, I had to be at the bank like some days 7:30, some days 8:30. So my schedule was Monday through Sunday, by the way. Like when I worked in a bank, it was Monday through Sunday. It wasn't every day that I worked, but like it was never a like Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. It was like some days I'll get there at 7 in the morning to open the vault. Some days I'd stay at that bank till 8 p.m. at night on a Friday. Some days I'd be in there on a Sunday. So like I had a sporadic schedule. And that meant that my wake up time was different. And when I was working, man, I'm not gonna lie, like I ain't have no morning routine, like freaking ice plunge and meditation and walking on grass. Like all that sounds great. Like I've never done that shit personally, and a lot of people don't. Okay. So if you love that stuff, hey, cool. But like I literally woke up 7 a.m., like literally like dashing out the door to get to work. Like I was like not on that at all. But when I was at work, the sessions didn't really even start until like 8:30, 9 a.m. anyways. So I already come in the day before prepared. That's the biggest thing. If you're going to be on the go and you got way too much to do, you got to have a game plan the night before. So when I was doing that, I would still go to bed maybe like at 12, 1, whatever. As long as I got 6 hours, like I would be cool. I wasn't getting 8 hours of sleep. Like 4 to 6 hours, run it. Also, I'm in my early 20s at this point. So like, you know, but yeah, man, it was just like having your game plan the day before. Like, hey, I'm trading this, there's news. Like you can't be caught off guard by news, you can't be caught off guard by anything. You have to have a game plan coming into it, and that's it. And again, like, you know, that's why I praise, like I preach, like don't try to trade 100 things at once. If you can stick to 1 or 2 pairs, one strategy, one time frame that you're going to trade in, then it's not like you're going to be scrambling while juggling other stuff trying to find a trade. Now, it's really that simple. Like the strategy is what's going to save you regardless of your schedule. Now with where I'm at, I go to bed like at, I don't know, 2 in the morning, 1, 2 in the morning. And then I'll wake up like at 7:30, 8 a.m., you know? So like, I don't wake up really early before my sessions and do all this stuff. Like I just don't. Because even when I go to the gym and I hoop and I do all that, I do it after I trade in the afternoons. So like at the end of the day, like some people are these 5 a.m. club assassins that are just like on this whole different mindset. Hey, like you got the edge on me. I'm just here to show you that you don't need to do all that and still do it. You just need to have the discipline to follow your strategy though. You know, like that's the biggest thing. It doesn't matter how you guys do your morning routine or any of that. The number one thing is you need to know exactly what your system is and then follow your system. I know exactly what I'm looking for in my strategy, and I have to follow those rules. If I don't, you're going to lose, and you're going to keep losing until you follow that. So just know that whatever y'all got to do to be mentally clear up here is what matters. However you accomplish that, that's it.
Nah, that was perfect. Actually, that really answered a lot of questions, if anything. Yeah, my main question really was how you went about your day, and if anything, it just kind of instilled in my head that strategy comes before anything else. So yeah, no, perfect.
Yeah. Well, look, and I'll say this, guys, like I'm like I made my strategy to work as little as possible. Like I don't want to, bro, I don't want to be on charts 6 years in. Like, oh man, like at this time of the day, I literally, the last thing I want to look at is a chart. And the more that you look at charts when you're in the beginning is good because you need to familiarize yourself. Like there's no skipping that. You know, I did stare at charts for a long time, but it gets to a point where once you know what to look for, especially guys, if you know your trading window, what you look at before doesn't matter, man. Like my strategy doesn't even fully develop until 1 in the morning. And by that time, I'm almost headed to bed. So as long as you're up half an hour to an hour before you're actually about to place trades, because you don't want to wake up 5 minutes before you're about to execute either. That's dangerous work right there. But if you got like half an hour to an hour before you're about to execute to just wake up and look at, okay, what did London session do? Did it break out of Asia high, low? Like where we at? You know, and then boom, once 8 a.m., 9 a.m. rolls around, I'm ready to go. I already know what my strategy is. I just execute. Today, the strategy had played out like at 4 or 5 in the morning. So my strategy didn't even really activate until like 2 p.m. And there's days like that. Like if my strategy, like it went during London, I already know I'm not trading. I might not even trade today at all. For some people, they can't even fathom not placing a trade today. They're like, no, bro, I need to retire myself. I need to get to my goals. I can't trade today. I'm wasting time. Because you're gonna force a bad trade that's gonna make you lose 1%, and then you're gonna force another one to revenge trade, and now you're down 2% when you could have just not traded and been at 0. So trust me, forcing it is gonna set you back more than just not touching the charts. But like I only execute my strategy. Again, if you're taking TTTs, trade alerts, you're learning 3 different ways, you're at the mercy of the educators. That's the reality of the situation, guys. When you're following educators, you're at the mercy of where their mind is and where their strategy is doing, you know? And we're all gonna go through winning streaks and losing streaks. And that's why, like, don't be taking trades from every educator at all the times, because your results are gonna be like this, dude. Stick to the ones that you resonate with, that you see consistent, and just trust their risk plan to level out. But if you want to become a great trader yourself, like do all that stuff, but then also demo, small live account, back test what you're trying to do, and just create a system that you can consistently do, you know, and if your strategy doesn't present itself, don't touch it, bro, and just walk away. So.
Yeah, that was me. I'll raise my hand right away. I was the revenge trader, and it
It's everybody. You're
never
good.
worked out. But yeah, no, like what he was just saying is so spot on. Like that's why it's important to, yes, there's so many great educators within this platform that all send out great trades. But that's why, for me personally, I follow 2 people. I literally follow Rich and Brent. And no hate to everybody else. They're all wonderful.
Yeah,
But with that strategy that he just showed you, it's simple. And that is another big thing that I had to kind of instill into my mind too, is like, hey, if it doesn't show up, it's okay. Don't take it. But then you might see somebody else call it out and it hit. Oh, well, it's okay. But yeah, does anybody else have any other questions before we close out this call?
I got a question.
Yo.
So for your strategy, what convinces you to like enter any trades? Is it just like the history of what happened like previously?
I get what you're saying. So again, like, and you'll see it especially on my live sessions. Like the educator training series is cool because it breaks down the concepts individually, but at the end of the day, like there's theory and there's practicality, right? So the theory is needed, but like if you want to see practical like use of it, look at the live sessions where we actually recap the stuff. Because for example, like I have the breakout model and the fake out model, but they're both at the same exact entry points. It's either at the Asia high or Asia low. So it's like, well, you're saying to go for 2 different entries in 2 different directions at the same point. How does that make sense? That's where the context comes into play about where we're at in a range. So again, for newer people that don't know, they're like, I don't even know what the hell a range is. It's hard to explain, but it's the easiest thing I can say is like buy low, sell high, right? So like I'll share. Let me see if I can share real fast here. So like for tomorrow, right? We already today dropped thousands of pips from up here to down here, right? So this is the range I want to be paying attention to the next day. Are we where we're at now towards the bottom or the top of the range? Towards the bottom. So I want to buy low and sell high. So that's why I would trust more the breakout of the high for buys than anticipating it to fake out and keep going, because we're already so low in a range. Now, I could be wrong though, and that's where you have to still use a stop loss. You still have to use proper risk. Boom, boom, boom. So, like again, up here, when we talked about this on the Sunday Market Outlook, that you can find the recordings on my YouTube, we had pushed so high the day before and went sideways. So by the time we pushed up again, I'm like, I'm not going to buy all-time highs on NAS. I don't like buying all-time highs. It's just like I'm chasing price. I don't like that. So I waited. It showed that it was ready to turn around, and we executed and caught it because we were so high in the range. Same thing with even today. The timing was a little bit like it came early, and that was the only unfortunate thing. But from where we were the day before to where we ended the day, we were very low in a range. So I would prefer to break out the high. And that's usually what will give you more clarity. So for example, tomorrow, again, we're towards the end of the range, right? If this breaks up, I'd be very comfortable buying it and, holding it maybe to somewhere here versus selling, because we already exhausted NAS dropping thousands of pips the day before. That's the easiest way I could put it. Again, the live sessions will give more context, But bro, the confidence is gonna come from back testing. Like pull up the indicators, use bar replay, and think about how you feel like you understand the strategy and let it play out over and over. And you're gonna see like, oh damn, it actually plays out a lot. And that's the magic. So
Great. We have time for one more question if anybody's got one.
I got a question.
yo,
So basically, the main question I was gonna ask was, so you know how the chart with the chart you were just
this chart. I don't hear you no more.
I'm so sorry, I muted it, so I'm
Oh,
sorry.
no, you
boss.
good. So
So
this
sorry.
chart, right?
Yeah, that chart right there. So in a perspective, when it does crash, what's the best way to pick it back up? That's my main like question from my point of view, boss.
Wait. So when it cracks, how you pick it up? What do you mean?
So you know how right there it goes down. When it goes down, that's when you're losing stock, right?
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Whenever
Yeah.
we trade this, it's not like we're buying stocks where we only make money when it goes up, right? When we do these type of trades, you can make money whether it goes up or down, but you need to know which way it's gonna go so you can buy or sell. So yeah, when you're buying a stock, which we do that when we buy cryptos, like sometimes we'll tell you like, oh, what cryptos to buy and stuff. Yeah, you only make money when it goes up. But when we do position trading like this, you can make money either way, which is why you really want to like go hard with this industry, man, because whether we're in a recession or whether we're in the best times of our life financially in the markets, you're going to make money either way. You just need to understand how to read it with the strategies that I'm teaching so you can determine whether it's going to go up or down. So that way you can buy or sell. You feel me?
Oh, okay. Understood.
Yeah.
I understand way better now. Okay. I see what you mean. I really do appreciate you, boss man, for answering my question, man. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, no, of course, man.
Pleasure to meet you, boss.
100%. 100%. Yo, are you guys all like in Minnesota or like?
We're from North Carolina. Some of us, some of us are from Minnesota.
Shout out NC, Rich.
Yo, I'm trying to pull up on y'all. What's up?
Come on, let's have some dinner.
Yeah.
Bro, seriously. Pop
I
out,
see the
bro.
Minnesota events going crazy.
Yeah.
Minnesota events are going pretty nuts right now. I'm not gonna
I know.
lie.
I respect it. I know
They are pretty fun out here.
that trench life. Honestly, I haven't really built Houston like that where I'm at right now. But when I was in Miami, especially during COVID, oh my God, dude. I've gotten like eviction notices because I had like 70 people in my apartment for an event during a pandemic. And you weren't supposed to have like more than 3 people in a room. So like I respect that. I respect everybody like packing out rooms, doing it like old school back in the day, like packing out the events, man. That's super inspirational. So, you know, like let's crush it, guys. You know, we're ending the year. 2025 is already around the corner. So if I can tell you one last thing before I hop off, man, is just like, you know, like just keep it simple and just focus on the 80-20 thing that I told you, man. If you just stick to 20% of the educators, that'll give you 80% of the results. And it doesn't have to be me. It's not about picking and choosing. It's just about you got to pick what's right for you and just stick to a handful like Kelsey's teaching you guys. And in the business, man, like I'm going to tell you this. There's going to be people that only look at this industry and they're like, oh, I'm just going to focus on trading and that's it. And then there's people that see the bigger picture. I respect either or. And I was in the process of just focusing on trading for a long time. I actually sucked at building the business. It was to the point where like I do this with my wife, but like you guys haven't seen that like my wife a lot because like she's taking a step back from like network marketing now where she's at in her life. But when we started, like she was the one that left her job first. She was the reason why we hit ranks. Like she was the star and I was playing tag along, you know, for like a long time. And I didn't really feel like that's what I was doing, but that's how people perceived me. That's how my mentors and upline and everybody saw me. So like for anybody that feels like you're kind of in the shadows or you're like having your come up, like you're the only one that has to believe in you, bro. But like you gotta really see it in yourself, whether you believe it or not. I used to lie to myself in the mirror. I don't care, whatever you gotta do, but like you have to, you know, speak it to yourself, see it in yourself, and the evidence, like the way that you'll start to believe that you are capable of hitting these crazy levels is that you see the incremental progress and you appreciate it. It's not about having these crazy quantum leaps right away. Just get slightly better it's like when you go to the gym and you do one push-up and then you get to 10 and then you get to 50 and you're like, damn, like I see the progress. Just get addicted to progress, because if you do that and you give it enough time, one day you'll wake up and you're like, yo, how the hell did I get here? I promise you is how it works. But like, all that is to say, if you just focus on trading, salute to you. You can make an absolute killing just getting really good at the markets. But Akashex right now is a brand that went from 800 to 10,000 people in less than 6 months. So you're in a hot product, a hot timing, and eyes are on the prize right now in this platform. And whether you want to build a business now, even if you just fully focus on trading and you become a 7-figure trader, what's going to end up happening is that you're going to get into programs where you want to build a client base. You're going to want to build a client base and you're going to want to get referrals from brokers and prop firms. Everybody ends up at the same destination because you got to like realize that this is a whole game. This is stuff you're not going to hear. Like I'm going to tell you right now, I'm giving you the real, like you need to see the game being played here. If you just trade, fantastic. But if you notice all the influencers, they're making a lot of money because they also sell courses. They also have prop firm referrals, broker referrals. If you don't take advantage of that, no problem. And I'm not saying that they're only successful because of that, because we all know that there's people that believe that stuff too. And there are some people that lie like that. But if you're in the position where there's literally a referral link for you right now for prop firms, for referrals, for the broker, and you can build a business and make residual, you're not going to have this pressure to become like a 6-7 figure trader right away. And when you have that state of mind of peace, because you have other ways money's coming in, your trading is going to be a lot more fresh, man. I'm going to tell you, because the people that suffer the most is the ones that need the trading money. If you come, look, trading is not built to get you from zero to hero. Trading is built to become financially stable to wealthy. The reason why is because people who are financially stable are okay with putting up money in the account that they are okay with losing. And so their state of mind to operate that money is different from somebody coming out of need and despair and hope. And like they're freaking out. Like these people that are on their last dollar trying to make money from trading, where you're going to be so stressed that you're going to be scared of hitting stop loss. And if you're scared of hitting stop loss, you're going to hit stop loss. That's how it works with your mind, dude. So I'm just saying, like, it's a harsh reality I'm trying to tell y'all, but you have multiple streams of income here. If you don't take advantage of it, Kelsey's going to do it. Somebody else is going to do it. So I'm just letting you know the real. So appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir. We definitely appreciate you. Appreciate everybody for hopping on. We were kind of hyping this call up for the past week or so. Contacted Rich last week after he made me a little bit of money and asked if he would hop on this call, and he was super excited to do it. And so we are super grateful for you. And yeah, we will get you guys the recording if you want to rewatch it, the PDF as well. But if you guys have any, sweet. If you guys have any questions, obviously his Instagram is in his name. Go shoot him a follow.
Oh yeah.
He's super responsive. I'll call him out. So now he has to be responsive.
Yo, Rich.
Yo.
Dude, you got me so fired up, and I just wanted to tell you this. I just met this insanely rich woman, and she's ready to jump in and take this to the moon. And I told her about the trade, and even pulled her up and showed you, brother, and she was like, I want to talk to him. So I appreciate you, bro, because you got me fired up, and you just made me prospect my next yearly subscription. So thanks, dog, for being on the call and giving it your all for us. I appreciate it. Let's go, Rich.
Let's go. I love it, bro. I love it. Guys, thanks so much for having me. Yo, I appreciate y'all for having me, man. For real. Always up to run other trainings, man. As you guys continue to expand the team and stuff, let's keep these going. I don't mind doing them as long as they're scheduled and we plan them. Hey, the way it helps me is I get more views on my live sessions. I get more views on my YouTubes and stuff. Like all that stuff helps me, So I'm always down to give, like at the end of the day, that's why I'm here. So whatever y'all need, just let me know. I don't want to be that guy who's too cool to hang out with the team like that. That's whack, like we're all in this together. So let's run it up.
Family. Oh, yes. Family. I appreciate you, dog. I appreciate you.
So,
all right,
y'all. Y'all have a good night, okay?
Yeah, later, Rich.
We'll see y'all later.
Appreciate y'all. Let's get it.